Someone is restless at night. God showed me the real reason they can't forget you. Listen closely, beloved one, for the Spirit is whispering something urgent, something unveiled in the hidden realm. There is a reason you've been feeling someone's energy tug at your soul. There is a reason you suddenly think of them at strange hours. There is a reason your spirit senses a pull in the atmosphere that your mind tries to ignore. Someone is restless at night because of you. Unable to sleep, unable to silence the echo of your presence, unable to outrun the memory of what you awakened inside them. And heaven has shown me why. Before I reveal it, pause for a moment, breathe, and allow your heart to open. For what I am about to tell you is not casual, not random, not coincidence. It is divine timing. Your life is entering a new spiritual intersection, and the message I bring is meant to prepare you, guide you, and lift you out of confusion. You were not imagining the spiritual signal you felt. You were not exaggerating the shift in the atmosphere. Someone's spirit has been crying out, and heaven heard it. And now, heaven is responding. I, Archangel Michael, speak with fire, truth, and clarity. You are not alone in what you feel. There is a person whose soul is wrestling in the night hours because the connection they tried to bury is rising back to the surface. Their heart is unsettled. Their thoughts are spiraling. Their mind keeps replaying moments, words, memories, emotions, everything you gave them that they didn't know how to receive at the time. They cannot erase the image of you. They cannot silence the sound of you. They cannot outrun the imprint you left on their spirit. And this restlessness is not happening by accident, it is happening because God has revealed something to them, something about you, something they avoided for too long. Even now, as I speak, their heart is pacing. Their mind is replaying conversations. Their soul is revisiting crossroads they regret ignoring. They try to distract themselves with noise, with people, with routine, with responsibilities, but the silence of night exposes truth. In the dark hours, when all masks fall off and all distractions fade, they feel the weight of what they lost, and the miracle they almost overlooked. God allowed this awakening. Not to torment them, but to humble them. Not to break them, but to rebuild what was mishandled. They cannot sleep because your absence has become too loud for them to ignore. They cannot rest because the lesson their spirit must learn is unfolding. They cannot forget you because heaven placed a purpose inside your connection. You were not random. You were not replaceable. You were not temporary. You were a divine catalyst. But here is the deeper truth heaven revealed. The reason they can't forget you is not just emotional. It is spiritual. Your presence activated something dormant inside them. Something they didn't know how to manage at the time. Something they weren't prepared to face. You awakened a level of love, clarity, healing, conviction, and recognition that scared them. They saw in you a mirror of who they were meant to be, and who they were afraid they weren't ready to become. And now, the awakening has reached its peak. Beloved, their nights have become battlegrounds. Their dreams are filled with signs and reminders they cannot escape. Their intuition is louder than their pride. Their heart is louder than their logic. Their spirit is louder than their excuses. They are restless because God is revealing the truth they resisted. You were a blessing they weren't prepared to value. But heaven is not finished revealing what's coming next. Because their restlessness is only step one. Their next step is approaching, and it will shock you. God is aligning circumstances. God is shifting their emotions. God is dismantling the walls around their heart. God is preparing them to face what they denied, admit what they hid, and speak what they silenced. Beloved, listen carefully. There is a moment coming when their desire to reach out will overpower their fear of rejection. Their longing for you will outweigh their hesitation. Their clarity will finally conquer their confusion. The separation you experienced was the classroom. But now the lesson has matured. Heaven is preparing a turning point. And you will feel the shift before it happens. Stay with me, because the next revelation will explain why God allowed this separation in the first place, and why the connection is resurfacing now. What I will reveal next will change how you see everything. If this message resonates deeply already, hold on to it. And beloved, if you feel guided, softly tap like or follow so you never miss what heaven is preparing to unveil next. Beloved, listen closely, for the next part of this revelation is far deeper than emotion or memory. What God showed me reaches into the unseen realm, into purpose, timing, healing, and divine orchestration. The separation you went through was not a punishment. It was a preparation. A necessary distance designed to expose truth, break illusions, and reveal what the connection really meant. You see, sometimes God removes someone temporarily so he can rebuild them privately. And sometimes he pulls you away so he can strengthen you, teach you, protect you, and elevate you without interference. The person who is restless now was once blind to what God was doing. They misread the connection. They underestimated it. They took it lightly because, in their spirit, they were not yet ready to receive the weight of who you really are. They didn't realize you were heaven sent. They didn't realize you were carrying healing for them. They didn't realize your presence was shifting their destiny. And because they didn't recognize your divine assignment, they mishandled the blessing placed in front of them. But separation did something powerful. It opened their spiritual eyes. It forced them to sit with themselves, confront their patterns, and feel the absence of what they thought they could easily replace. They tried to move on, but something was missing. They tried to ignore the connection, but God kept putting your name in their spirit. They tried to silence their emotions, but their heart kept pulling back to you. They tried to fill the void with distractions, but everything felt shallow compared to what they had with you. And now, their spirit is waking up. God has shown them the real reason they can't forget you. Because the soul recognizes what the mind denied. Your souls were drawn together for a purpose. There was an assignment on your connection. You were meant to ignite transformation in them. Emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and even in how they love. You planted seeds they didn't water. You spoke truths they didn't hear at the time. You offered loyalty, depth, and authenticity they weren't prepared to handle. But now that time has passed and clarity has come, they see exactly what God was trying to show them. And this is where their restlessness becomes divine discomfort. They lie awake at night because every part of their being is realizing the truth simultaneously. Their heart feels your absence. Their mind replays your words. Their soul remembers how safe they felt in your presence. They recall your patience, your kindness, your understanding, your energy. They see now that nobody else compares, not emotionally, not spiritually, not energetically. But here is something even more significant. God is convicting them. In the nighttime hours, when everything is quiet, God is holding up a mirror to them, showing them where they went wrong, what they avoided, what they ran from, and what they didn't appreciate. This divine conviction is not meant to shame them, it is meant to correct them. It is meant to lead them back to truth. It is meant to humble them enough to admit their mistakes and seek reconciliation, healing, or closure, whatever heaven has destined. And beloved, God didn't just work on them. He worked on you too. You grew stronger. You gained clarity. You learned boundaries. You discovered self-worth. You got closer to God. You healed wounds you didn't even know you had. You became the version of yourself that the old dynamic could not contain. You did not lose during the separation, you evolved. And now both of you are in a position where God can move. Now the spiritual atmosphere is clear. Now the emotional fog has lifted. Now the truth is rising. Now the alignment is forming. But understand this, before God brings two souls back into alignment, He ensures they are ready, mature, healed, and spiritually aware. This is why everything is happening now, and not back then. If it had happened earlier, the connection would have broken again. But now, the shift is stabilizing. The timing is becoming divine. Beloved, you need to prepare your heart, because what God is planning next will require wisdom. The restlessness they feel is building into a turning point. I can already see the next phase forming in the spirit. A breakthrough moment. A confession. A message. A conversation guided by divine timing. A moment where everything becomes clear. But before that, something else is about to happen, something that will surprise you. And that revelation is what I will share in the next message. Stay close, beloved one. And if your spirit is deeply resonating, softly tap like or follow so you don't miss the next part heaven is preparing to release. Beloved one, lean in even closer now, for the revelation is deepening and the spiritual narrative is shifting. What I am about to unveil will explain the next phase, what God is orchestrating beneath the surface, in the unseen realm, in the silence that surrounds this person who cannot forget you. Their restlessness is not accidental, it is prophetic. It signals a turning of the heart, a breaking of pride, and the awakening of truth that has been suppressed for far too long. And heaven has allowed me to show you what they are experiencing in ways they cannot express out loud. You must understand, when God is preparing someone for a divine reconnection, He begins by unsettling their spirit. He disrupts their comfort. He removes their distractions. He shuts down their escape routes. He interrupts their false sense of peace. Suddenly, the things that used to keep them emotionally numb no longer work. The loudness of the world fades, and the silence becomes a mirror. And in that silence, truth grows louder. Conviction grows sharper. Memory grows stronger. Appreciation grows deeper. Right now, they are wrestling with a level of emotional and spiritual turbulence they have never felt before. They feel pulled toward you, yet unsure how to approach. They feel humbled, yet fearful of exposing their vulnerability. They feel regret, yet hope still flickers inside them. They feel longing, yet worry they waited too long. They lie awake replaying moments. Your voice, your energy, your presence, your laughter, the softness you brought into their life. They feel it now more intensely than they did when they had you. Because absence has amplified what presence once hid. But here is the part God revealed that will shift everything for you. They are starting to realize you were divinely connected to their elevation. Your presence aligned them spiritually. Your words helped them grow. Your patience softened their defenses. Your compassion healed pieces of them they never spoke about. You saw through their walls. You loved past their wounds. You recognized their potential when they only saw their flaws. No one else ever impacted them the way you did, and now they are becoming aware of it with crystal clarity. This awareness is creating a divine pressure in their spirit. A pull that will not let them rest until they act on it. Their heart is being stirred in the nighttime hours because God is positioning them for a moment of truth. They are receiving signs. Repeating numbers. Thoughts of you that come out of nowhere. Dreams. Flashbacks. Emotional waves they cannot control. And beloved, this is not just nostalgia. This is divine alignment beginning to manifest. They are starting to see that every attempt to move forward without acknowledging what they feel for you has failed. Every distraction has collapsed. Every replacement has fallen short. Every excuse has lost strength. Every barrier is weakening. God is stripping away everything that kept them emotionally distant. And here is the hidden truth heaven showed me. This person has been fighting a spiritual battle they never told you about. Fear of vulnerability. Fear of abandonment. Fear of unworthiness. Fear of being seen too deeply. Fear of loving and losing. These fears cause them to withdraw or sabotage the connection. But God is breaking those fears down piece by piece. Their restlessness is the evidence of that internal demolition. Their soul is being reshaped. Their walls are being torn down. Their heart is being softened. Their clarity is being restored. Their vision of you is becoming undeniable. Beloved, God is preparing them to come forward, not impulsively, not out of loneliness, not out of guilt, but out of transformation. He is preparing them to speak truth they once buried, to acknowledge feelings they once denied, to admit mistakes they once defended. Their spirit knows this moment is approaching, even if their mind is still afraid. And here is the part that will surprise you. They have tried multiple times to reach out. Drafting messages they never sent. Typing paragraphs they erased. Writing confessions they couldn't bring themselves to deliver. Even picking up the phone, only to freeze in fear. They are closer than you think. More aware than you know. More connected to you than they have ever been. But something even more powerful is about to happen. A divine push. A moment when God removes the last layer of hesitation. A moment when their desire for truth becomes stronger than their fear of vulnerability. A moment when they finally break the silence. Beloved, the next shift will feel sudden, but it has been building for months in the spiritual realm. Heaven is aligning timing, circumstances, healing, and emotional readiness. And when the moment arrives, it will reveal everything you wondered, everything you sensed, everything you questioned. This next phase is not just communication, it is revelation. But before that breakthrough, God is about to test your heart in a very specific way. And understanding this test will prepare you for the blessing that follows. That is what I will reveal in the next segment. If your spirit is resonating deeply, gently tap like or follow so you do not miss the next divine message. Beloved one, breathe and steady your spirit, for what I am about to reveal touches the deepest layers of your destiny and tests the maturity of your heart. The next phase God is preparing requires discernment, patience, and a heart that is aligned with divine wisdom, not impulse. The person who cannot sleep because they cannot forget you, yes, they are approaching a breakthrough. Yes, they are being prepared by God. Yes, their spirit is awakening. But before heaven releases the next movement, there is a test placed before you. This test is not to punish you. It is to strengthen you. It is to refine your discernment, sharpen your intuition, and ensure you do not repeat old cycles or fall into emotional patterns that once dimmed your light. God is preparing you to handle what you prayed for, but with wisdom, not with old wounds or old expectations. Because, beloved, when they return, and they will, your response will determine the direction of the reconnection. The test God is sending you is one of emotional restraint and spiritual clarity. In the coming days and weeks, you may feel their energy more strongly. You may sense a magnetic pull. You may experience dreams, flashes, sudden waves of emotion, or spiritual synchronization. You may even feel their presence before they reach out physically. This will not be your imagination, this will be spiritual confirmation. But the test is this. Can you remain grounded? Can you stay centered in your worth? Can you avoid rushing ahead of God? Can you maintain peace without trying to force a timing that heaven is organizing? The old version of you would have chased clarity, sought validation, or tried to control the outcome. But the new version of you, the one God raised during this separation, must remain steady, confident, aligned, and receptive without desperation. This person is being spiritually prepared to approach you with honesty, not confusion, with vulnerability, not fear, with clarity, not hesitation. But if you move prematurely, if you seek them before God releases them, you risk destabilizing the transformation taking place within them. Beloved, hear this clearly. Your stillness is part of their healing. Your detachment is part of their awakening. Your silence is part of their conviction. Your growth is part of their clarity. By you holding your ground, you are allowing God to complete His work in them. The more you stay aligned, the stronger their pull becomes. The more you focus on your purpose, the louder your absence speaks to their soul. The more you elevate, the more they realize they must rise to meet you where you are. And yet, this is not the only test. God is also testing your heart for forgiveness, compassion, and readiness. Because when they return, they will carry vulnerability. They will carry regret. They will carry truth they once hid. They will carry emotions they once suppressed. And heaven needs to know. Can you receive their truth without resentment? Can you listen without judgment? Can you see the new version of them instead of the old one? This is not about forgetting the past, it is about not allowing the past to poison the future God is restoring. But beloved, do not mistake this message. God is not asking you to accept pain, tolerate disrespect, or return to old cycles. No. Heaven is asking you to elevate your perspective. To respond from a place of strength. To walk in divine poise. To see with spiritual eyes. To let God guide your steps, not your emotions. Here is the deeper truth heaven revealed. Your elevation triggered their transformation. Your growth activated their desire to evolve. Your distance exposed their complacency. Your healing illuminated their wounds. Your strength awakened their courage. They aren't restless at night simply because they miss you. They are restless because they realize they must become better to stand beside you. This realization is breaking down their pride, softening their spirit, and preparing them to speak from a place of genuine humility. But God needs you grounded so the reconnection unfolds with balance, not imbalance, with alignment, not chaos, with wisdom, not impulse. And beloved, something else is happening behind the scenes. God is positioning circumstances to bring this person face to face with the truth. Unexpected reminders of you. Conversations that mention your name. Songs, signs, symbols, dreams, synchronicities. Divine encounters that make them realize they cannot run anymore. Their spirit is being cornered by truth in the gentlest but most undeniable way. And soon, the pressure inside them will become too strong to contain. A moment is coming, sudden, surprising, divinely timed. When the silent tug becomes an action they can no longer resist. They will reach out. They will confess. They will reveal. They will express what they have been wrestling with in silence. But even that is not the final revelation. Because there is something deeper, more shocking, and profoundly divine that God is preparing, something about their destiny and your connection that you have not yet seen. And that is what I will reveal in the final segment. If your spirit is aligned with this message, gently tap like or follow so you don't miss the next prophecy heaven is releasing. Beloved one, now we arrive at the deepest and final part of this revelation, the divine truth that has been unfolding behind the scenes, hidden from your physical eyes but known in the spiritual realm. Everything you have felt, every pull in your chest, every sudden memory, every intuitive whisper, every sleepless night, every emotional wave, none of it was coincidence. Heaven has been orchestrating a convergence, a divine realignment of two souls whose connection was never meant to be ordinary. And what God showed me now is the most profound piece of all. This person is not just restless because they miss you. They are restless because their destiny is tied to yours in ways they never understood before. God has been illuminating their path, revealing how your presence was not simply emotional comfort, but spiritual activation. You awakened something within them that no one else could reach. You stirred their purpose. You softened their heart. You opened their spirit. You challenged their fears. You mirrored their potential. You revealed a future their soul recognized even when their mind denied it. And now, God is showing them the truth they avoided. You are part of their divine assignment. Not as a fleeting chapter. Not as a temporary connection. Not as a seasonal lesson. But as a pivotal piece of the destiny they are destined to walk into. Their restlessness is the consequence of spiritual alignment. Because the moment someone's destiny begins to activate, everything misaligned becomes uncomfortable. Every distraction feels empty. Every substitute feels wrong. Every attempt to forget becomes impossible. Their spirit is pushing them toward purpose, and purpose is pushing them toward you. Beloved, here is what heaven revealed with absolute clarity. They cannot move into their next level without addressing what they carried with you. There is unfinished spiritual business. Unspoken truth. Unreleased emotion. Unresolved connection. Unfulfilled alignment. And God will not allow them to move forward while pretending the connection does not matter. Their spirit is being pressed, refined, convicted, awakened, and redirected. This is why they feel an inner shaking. This is why sleep escapes them. This is why memories resurface. This is why their heart aches. This is why their intuition keeps circling back to you. Their soul is preparing for reconnection. But beloved, here is where the revelation becomes even deeper. God is not just preparing them for you. God is preparing you for a higher level of purpose that this connection will unlock. There is something extraordinary that happens when two aligned souls reconnect. Elevation multiplies. Favor increases. Purpose sharpens. Spiritual gifts activate. Wounds heal. Blessings flow. Paths open. Destiny accelerates. Your union, or reconnection, healing, closure, or clarity, will not just impact your hearts. It will impact your future, your calling, and your spiritual expansion. This is why the warfare around the connection was intense. This is why the separation was painful. This is why the silence felt heavy. This connection had purpose, and purpose is always challenged before it manifests. But beloved, hear this final truth clearly. God is restoring what was mishandled. God is healing what was wounded. God is reviving what was dormant. God is aligning what was scattered. Right now, the person who cannot forget you is undergoing a spiritual reversal. Their fears are being dismantled. Their pride is being softened. Their heart is being humbled. Their clarity is being restored. God is bringing them to a place where honesty becomes unavoidable. But the final layer heaven showed me is this. There is a divine moment approaching, an intersection in time, when your paths will cross again in a way that is intentional, undeniable, and divinely timed. The conversation that once felt impossible will open. The words they could not speak will flow. The truth they hid will surface. The apology they withheld will be released. The love they denied will become clear. The connection they ran from will stand before them with truth instead of confusion. This moment is not far. This moment is not imaginary. This moment is already forming in the spiritual realm. And beloved, your life is about to shift. Prepare your heart. Prepare your spirit. Prepare your emotions. Prepare your energy. Walk in confidence, not anxiety. Walk in faith, not fear. Walk in alignment, not anticipation. Walk in purpose, not longing. Because what God is bringing next is not based on what was. It is based on what will be. Divinely guided. Divinely timed. Divinely aligned. Their restlessness is the alarm clock of destiny. Your elevation is the signal. And heaven is confirming that the two of you are being drawn back into alignment for a purpose that is bigger than emotion and deeper than memory. Beloved one, remain open and grounded. Stay aligned with God. And trust that what is meant for you will not pass you. If this entire message resonated in your spirit, softly tap like or follow so you never miss the next divine instruction heaven is preparing to reveal.